Hi everyone. I just wanted to explain a little bit about some of the interesting things that I learned this week while looking up the interactive whiteboards. I titled this The Interesting and Correct Uses of Interactive Whiteboards because I know in some of the articles we learned about how teachers are using this technology inappropriately and incorrectly. So that's kind of why I titled it Interesting and Correct. So the first thing I kind of have on here is this little statistic that's 26th percentile point gain in student achievement. One of the articles that I read this week actually talked about how the use of graphics and other visuals to represent information using these interactive whiteboards actually included downloading pictures and video clips from the internet has actually been associated with a 26th percentile point gain in student achievement. That along with allowing students to voting using these voting devices on the interactive whiteboards for responses to questions, so the students can then see how many in the class voted for one answer versus another answer, and then teachers can kind of go over what is the correct answer and why. How to achieve the most out of this new technology. This is kind of where I want to talk about how a few of the articles mentioned the negative aspects of the whiteboard and how teachers were using it inappropriately. They weren't organizing or pacing the content appropriately, so students would see a lot of videos, a lot of visual images that were supposed to represent a lot of important things. But the teachers went through it so fast that the students could not grasp the important concepts, and therefore their heads were just flooded with too much visual technology instead of the correct amount in spurts. The other problem was the voting devices. They were using them in the classroom, but they weren't doing anything with them. So they were just kind of telling students, okay, you can see that most of you voted for this is the correct answer, instead of explaining to the students why it's the correct answer and why some of the other choices are not correct. After kind of going through the articles, I went to MoMA, the Museum of Modern Art, and the way that they have sort of incorporated their is a way that teachers can incorporate interactive whiteboards. Their website had this interactive kind of tool that you can use. I kind of demoed it on here, but not to the full extent that they have it. But one of the examples was Vincent van Gogh and his painting The Starry Night. And since I'm an art major, this is really up my alley, so I kind of went with it. But on the one page, you would see the picture just as it is here, and on the left-hand side, you would have a lot of different links that you can click on. The first page, it kind of just has a quote from him about the painting. This morning I saw the country from my window a long time before sunrise with nothing but the morning star, which looked very big. And it really, once you get into the painting, this is just, there's the website for you. So for future reference, if any of you want to go to it, you can type that in and it'll take you directly to the website. But what it does is it shows you the painting and many other paintings in this gallery. And students can then learn specific things about it, and they can also, there's interactive tools. So the example that was on the Vincent van Gogh painting was, this is Vincent's night sky, what does your night sky look like? And there was a frame, and it said print this frame. So for teachers to go on, or even kids to go on, they can then interact with the different things they learned about Van Gogh's painting and then incorporate that into research for their own paintings, which I thought was really unique and really interesting. The other kind of artist that I wanted to pull from that website was Polly Affelbaum and her artwork Blossom. And if you look in the background here, I'm just going to kind of zoom out, this pattern work on the floor is actually her artwork Blossom. She calls them fallen paintings, and a great example with fallen paintings was for students to cut out different shapes, different geometric shapes, and have them fall on the floor and kind of see the pattern that occurs. It's a great way for students to see patterns and shapes in objects that may have not been meant to have a pattern or shape. And the website really explains a lot about her, and it also gives reference to other artists. So it says 4 of Polly's favorite artists are Andy Warhol, Ellsworth Kelly, Henry Matisse, and Agnes Martin. And all of these artists are very well known and very unique in their own way. And what's great about it is that when students see Polly's work and they then see that these are her favorite artists, they then make references to those artists and want to learn more about them versus just reading it from a textbook. They can see, a live current artist, her work, ideas of how to create their own work, and then they learn about other artists as well in the process. So again, basically I just want to kind of recap on what I went over, but how to achieve the most out of this new technology, I think, is to really enhance what it can give, and just like the way that MoMA, the modern Museum of Modern Art, really kind of dove into it and gave students a way to learn about art in a fun way. And I really think that it can be applied to almost any subject, as long as you, as the article I mentioned, do things properly and enhance kids in a way that's fun and exciting for them, and actually use the interactive whiteboards to their full capability. I think we're moving on in a good direction. So, thanks everyone.